Alright, welcome back. Today we are starting with an introduction to CSS. So what is CSS? It stands for Cascading Style Sheets. It describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on the screen and in other media. It also saves a lot of work and can control the layout of multiple web pages. You can also ignore external style sheets in CSS files. Here we have an example of our CSS here. This is just a basic one. We have an import here for our Google font, and we are setting our body, which is this whole document. This is referred to as the body, and this is our HTML, and then within this usually you have a body, which is this whole tag here. So we're styling this body with a background of 1F. So if we wanted to change this in VS Code, we can just pick another color. Don't pick something too bright, and then save, and we should be able to see that this background changes. So we change the background with CSS, so that's the body background. You can also change that to HTML, and it will do the same thing as body and HTML are wrapped within each other. So HTML is the whole document here. And you can also see here we have an asterisk, which then targets everything in this document as well. So we've got everything set to font, family, inter, and then a fallback of sans serif font. So that is CSS here. So CSS is this part of the document, and we can also include CSS within a separate file. And to include it in a separate file, we will add a link to this tag here with a rel of style sheet, and then we have a href equals, and then we link to our style sheet. So this is linking off to a font awesome style sheet, but if we wanted to add our own style sheet, we could just call it style.css, or you can give it pretty much any name you like. And as long as that style.css sits in the same directory, then you will be able to load it. I'll just create that now. So I just created the style.css, and then if we wanted to do that, we could move this style here and get rid of this out of the tag, and then put it here in the style. And then if I reload, hopefully that will appear there. And you can see now it's got style.css here, and it's still loading. So if we change this background color again to something else, and then we reload, so now it's loading our style from here. So that's just an external style sheet. So you can have inline style, which are in the document. You can have an external style sheet, and then you can have actual inline in the elements. So if I added an element here, p tag, and then you can put a style tag, which is the CSS. Font weight bold, and then save. So this is then our CSS within the tag. So that is the introduction to CSS. Let's move on to the next section.